Right then, we've just had a week of videos, and that means I'm caught up and I need to start making more videos. Now, I'm actually filming this on Thursday, the 25th? No, 23rd, I think. I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's during the week of the videos I've uploaded every single day. But, truck. Now, as you know, the truck isn't finished. Still need to do the bed, still need to put a distributor in because that's what we've come to agreement that the best thing for this is to put a whole new distributor in. It's cheaper to buy a whole complete distributor than it is to buy individual parts. So that means I've got to do the bed while I wait for the distributor to show up. If you've been watching the channel, you will know what's happened here. This bed frame here we've made, and that's raised up. As you can see down here, this is the original bed floor, and this is the new raised bed floor. So it's like quite a deep difference. And that's because we have the chassis notches in here, and the bed floor would never fit lower down like that. Also, we've got to adjust the wheel tubs because they're no longer the same height, because they usually started down there and now they're going to be up here. So we've got to modify those as well. So this metal frame is really strong. We can walk all over it. That was a plan. I wanted to be able to put as many people on here as you possibly like without it, you know, hurting it or bending it. So big frame. We've got scaffold boards. They're stained. Big Shan did that for us. Well done, Shan. She stained all these. There's a couple more over there, and I've got some aluminium strips that go in between like that, which we're going to bolt down, and that's what's going to secure the wooden slats. Right, so here's all the wood. There's 2 spare planks here. These are the mock-up things that we used beforehand because obviously the slat doesn't go all the way across. So we need to space these evenly. And if you watched the last video where we did the bed and we did all this metal frame, we actually used a 12mm socket and we just sort of went, spaced it out like that. So if that fits in there, 12mm, 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 then they're all evenly spaced and it all sits nicely. You get the idea. So got some alley strips, so they need to go in there. So I'll get those out now. Right, so this is the plan. Obviously the tubs are not going to sit up there, because that looks silly. But strips down the middle. Hopefully, basically what the plan is to riv nut in here, in this little spot. Drill through. That is going to thread all the way through into there. And then that is going to hold the wood tight down. That makes sense? Obviously, the wood is all sorts of shapes. So hopefully it doesn't try and go. If not, it probably wants, like, what do they call it? Routing. So there's a groove on the edge of here, and this alley strip can sit inside it. And then that way it can't move side to side, but I think this way will work. We've just got to drill it appropriately. And also, I think I'm going to cut down the tub, which is it's currently 5 inches above. And basically I want to cut 5 inches from the bottom up, so that's about here. Cut that all the way around here, and then I'm hopefully just going to put it on top. Right, I've been here for absolutely ages now. It's doing my head in. And this is a problem that I thought I'd be able to seal the deal and sort out when the time comes. Now the problem is, right, from here to here is longer than here to here. I don't know why I did that in reverse, but you can see this side is a lot longer than that side. So when we did the frame, there's 4 bars along here, and then you've got the wheel section for the wheels, and then you've got 3 lines across there. So the problem that's going to drive me absolutely insane is I can't I physically cannot, it won't work, there's nothing to screw into. I can't put the same spacing of hole all the way along, because if I do the 1, 2, 3 there, I'll get like one there, and then there's 4 here, and the evenly spaced just misses every single bar that goes across that way. So this one is on the bar, and then there's a bar here, here, and here. But if I spaced it to the same space as those bars, it would miss 1, 2, 3 bars here. So, annoying as it is, I think what we've got to do is do the 3 there. The tubs are here, so it looks like it might be hiding it. And then those 4 all the way across there. And in the middle, you have to make it up as well. It's going to do my head in not doing it all spaced out correctly. But I asked Nathan, and he's like, I don't actually care, just do what you want. But for me, I want to do it properly. You know what I mean? But I'm just hoping the tubs will take your eye off it. When I say they're not spaced correctly, I'm talking like 10, 15 mil for each hole. So it might not be as bad as you may well think. I think you'd think you'd only notice if you're looking at it, but yeah, that's what I'm dealing with. But all these boards are spaced out correctly. Obviously this wood is cut to the wheels, and then I'm gonna now drill these holes end to end, and then once I've got those in, I'm going to drill each hole for the bar here, 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 here. And once I've drilled those holes, I can then replace it to all of them. Like I could drill them all at the same time, and then it will be a case of putting them all in like that. There's a lot of procrastination in this, and it should be very simple, but it's taken me a long time to just accept the fact that it's not going to be perfect. That's the worst. If it was mine, it'd be alright, but it's not for me. Even though Nathan said he doesn't care, I do. So here's what it is. It's something to think about in future. You've got to think way, way, way far ahead into the future before you actually start welding bars in and painting them. It is what it is. It happens. It happens. Lovely. So what we got here, I've drilled each end of every strip, so there's holes in every single end to end. I'm gonna go around and riv nut all these holes, because that's where we're gonna use some countersunk bolts that are thread into the frames. We've got no nuts and bolts because we can't get underneath down there. And then yeah, I'm gonna see how sturdy it all is once I've riv nutted everything, and then see what it's like, because if I could get away with just doing the end to end and that's enough to hold it, I'm planning on putting a strip on this edge here so they can't go out, and they shouldn't be able to go side to side. They shouldn't be able to go side to side because there's a bolt there. I just want to see how sturdy it is, and then I might just do, if it is a little bit more, I'll do the one here and then a one here, big space, one here, and then one here. So we'll have 4 bolts showing. Maybe one down the middle as well. Depends what mood I'm in. The tubs are going to screw into these and a little bit on there, so that one's not going to move either. Yeah, the less holes I need to drill and the cleaner it looks, the better. But yeah, hopefully that is what the plan of action is. You join me a couple of days later. I've cracked on a bit. So what you didn't see is, well, actually I don't even know where I ended it, but all I've done is drill lots of holes in here. Yeah, it takes ages to drill lots of holes, then countersink them. Well, I haven't even done that yet. I tried to countersink them. Drill lots of holes, and then drill lots of holes in the frame, then you've got to riv nut them all. Oh, it took ages and ages and ages. So yeah, I'll show you what I did. I'm still waiting for a countersink bolt for all these Allen keys. Yeah, it's bolted in there.
This was a nightmare. Obviously I've got these ones down here, these ones down here. I just decided to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Which one of those is bolted down fully? So yeah, it's like solid. You can pick it up a little bit in the middle here, but I didn't want the didn't want a row of bolts down here because number one, there isn't a bar that goes across here, and two, I think it would have. Well, it wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have worked. I've put a strip on the end of here. I haven't put it on there. I've just placed it on there because I haven't found a way to fully get that on there. I want one row of bolts all the way along, and obviously you want that in the middle, and that would be just here. So I can't put anything on there. So I think I'm gonna clamp it up there, and that's gonna get tiger sealed on to that back panel there. So that neatens that up. Obviously I've shortened the tub there. I wanted it to look like I've just sort of left the tubs where they were and raised the bed so the tub like sinks into it. I've just got to put a flange on the bottom of this, so I've started doing it over here. Just need to put a flange, so bare metal that one. I need to put a flange on it like this one had. Obviously these are the original tubs. And obviously I had a flange all the way around, so I'm going to make a flange for this in the next clip, so you will see that. And yeah, and you get something that looks like that. Get it on a flat surface, weld all the way around. Bish, bash, bosh. Jobs are good. And so I'm going to weld that. Well, I'm going to tack it first. Tack it all together. And then I'll try and put it in the car. Hopefully it still fits. There you go. There's a pair of tubs there. Tacked in, mocked into position. I'm just going to measure from the back of the tub to here. And obviously there to there. So I'll make sure it's in the right place. This hole here is actually the center of the tub, so that one needs to go back a bit, and then once they're marked out I can draw around this trim bit here, both sides, and then I know exactly where it needs to be once it's back together. This tub, you might be able to see it's sitting offset, and that's because that board is proper twisted, but I think once it's all bolted together it will pull itself in. Obviously the end ones there and there and these ones don't have anything holding them to the edges. It's literally just this slat here all the way along. So when this is in both of the slats, then it obviously will all come together quite naturally and pull itself together. Theoretically. This is the first truck and bed I've ever done, and I have learnt so much in the process. Number one, if you're going to do this sort of thing, get some decent wood first, if you want it to be perfect. If you're not bothered about it being perfect, then don't bother. Secondly, this truck's really old, and the bed is all different shapes from what it should be. So also got to take that into consideration as well. So yeah, there's a load of things to think about when you're doing this sort of thing. But it's whether you're chasing perfection or not, that's the main issue. So yeah, gonna crack on, get this done. Bosh. And then yeah, weld it all together. Try not to get this too hot because this flange will want to flick up like that has a little bit there. I did get that quite hot. There is actually a dent in there, so it's probably not flicked up at all, but don't get it too hot, otherwise this flange is going to tweak up and then you have to hammer and dolly it, and you know what I mean. You get the idea. Weld all that. If you get a weld that looks like that, when you spray it, you won't even have to grind any of it down, so that'd be nice if I could do that all the way around, even though it's a little bit gappy there. See what I can do. Definitely just run out of wire. I just had to replace it. I was on a roll. At least I got a spare one. I hadn't ruined my whole day. Remind me to order another one as you're editing this, Josh. Nice one. I've got one happy welder today. Look at that. Hot, hot, hot. pretty happy with that. It's come out really, really nice. Lovely. Now just the other one to do. You can see originally it had bolt holes that would bolt it to the inside of the bed. Obviously, those bolt holes no longer don't exist, so I'm leaving it there just for the sheer fact that it holds strength. If I cut that out along there, someone put their hand on it, it's quite likely it would collapse on itself, so it doesn't affect it being there, so I'm just going to leave it there unbolted. But yeah, that's, if in case you was wondering and watching, that's why. That is a pair of tubs. They come out really good. I'm glad I did them. I was going to make some new ones to cover it, but I quite like the rolled edge on the original ones, and if you've ever tried to make a tub like that, it's actually extremely hard to do. So being able to keep that is pretty cool in my opinion. So yeah, pretty happy with how they've actually come out. They've welded absolutely lovely as well. I'm literally just going to spray over that and it'll look pretty much seamless with the Gravitex on it. The Gravitex is what I've used on everywhere, so it's good. It's good, don't worry. And now I just need to cut the strips. All these strips do need to be sanded and polished. They have got marks on them. They had loads of marks on them when I got them. Like here. Obviously this bit's being cut out, so it doesn't matter anyway. But yeah, it needs like a DA down and a polish and then sealing. And then I'm going to copper grease all of the riv nuts to get them all in properly. But I still need to countersink everything at the same time, which is... I'm waiting for the countersink and it's taken like 4 million years, so yeah. Right, there's one in. Now, I've cut the strips, and when I cut it, obviously this strip was holding it all together quite nicely. And as soon as I took that strip off, these two bits of wood on the end are like twisting like mad. So I've got to like push it down to get it there, and then it will hold itself together like that with those holes there. So I just got to figure out how to put my new fancy riv nuts in. I'm going to do it on a test piece beforehand. But yeah, they screw in with this Allen key, and there's a little M8 bolt in there to hold it. Put that all the way around there. Job's a good one. And then I will paint it. There you go, there's a little wooden riv nuts in there. First time I've ever used them, so hopefully they're alright. They're pretty easy to go in, which is annoying because I thought they would be a bit stiffer, if that makes sense, because if it's easy to go in, it hasn't really got too much of a grab on it, basically, so it might spin. So I'm going to make sure all these gets copper grease so it doesn't seize in there and stuff like that for future reference. But yeah, put the tub in, bolt it down, and that's one side done. Hopefully it all works. It's in. It's in. So, as you can see, the wood is all sorts of shapes. So that's annoying. But it fits in there. Not too sure if these riv nuts are amazing. That took a lot of pulling in, obviously, because it was under tension because of the wood. And I think some of them spinned as they were going in, but I'll soon find that out when I'm taking it out. But now it's at this position now, I can just... flare it in a little bit while it's unpainted to sort of flow with the natural curve of the wood. Just sat here thinking about these little wooden riv nuts. I'm not sure if you're supposed to put that in there with some sort of like wooden paste that locks things in. Because it would make sense if that was the case. And then it would hold it in there and stop it from spinning, because wood is not very strong. But it seems to have held that. If I didn't have to take that out again to paint it, I wouldn't be worried about it. But we'll see how they are. It's just because they have to, it's because of the wood. If we had flat wood and none of it was bowed or anything like that, it'd be sweet. But it's little bits like that. It's like you're trying to crack on, but you can't because the wood's all fighting you and stuff. Worst comes to worst, I can get underneath there and nut and bolt the tubs. Be bloody annoying, but it is possible. It's not the end of the world. There you go. Look at that. That looks sweet. I've tried to convince Nathan we should paint these. Well, not paint these. That's what I've tried to convince him. Keep these raw. If they were DA'd down, like, quite a lot and gone quite high grit and then clear coated, I think they'd look really good because it really matches the rest of the bed now. It really looks good. But yeah, the only thing I need to do now is countersink all these bolts along here, and then we should be golden. It looks good in the sun and stuff. It looks really good. I like it. I think it looks spot on. The tubs have come out really nice. All of this lot's come out really nice. Also, I learnt that these threaded inserts for the wood, just hammer them in. Don't wind them in. I think you're supposed to wind them out, but just hammer them in. Don't wind them in. Wind them out. You learn as you go. I now know not to wind them in. Just wind them out. But I'm happy with that. Happy with the way it's all turned out. I think it looks really good, to be honest. It's really set off the back of the truck, to be honest. Yeah, stoked on it. Yeah, just looks really good. I think the stain looks nice. New black sides look nice. It all looks good. I just need to glue that bit on there, and obviously change all the bolts. But I'll show you a video of that another day. But it's going to probably include it for this video. I really want to keep the tubs like this, but obviously it's not my truck. But I'd really like it if they were. They look really good. Damn. Next job is to shim the back of the bed, because it is a little arse end down, as you can see. It's worse on the other side because the bed is all sorts of shapes, as I'm finding out the more I work on it. Yeah, I'll do that in another video.